Yo, what's going on, guys? Man 26 here. Today, I'm going to be starting basically a marathon over the next couple days where I'm going to be showing you some jersey concepts that I made. So, this video is going to be reverse retro. Tomorrow is going to be counter color, and I might try and create some in front of you guys. Thursday is going to be home jerseys. Friday's going to be away. Saturday's going to be alternate. And then next week, Sunday, I might do some more. We'll see. Those days might get pushed back. Just know that. Like I said, this video is reverse retro. I'm going to be basically going through them, telling you my thought process for each jersey. And yeah, let's just get right into it. These are in alphabetical order, starting with Anaheim. So basically what I wanted to do with this series is I wanted to choose jerseys that the teams, because there have already been 2 reverse retros, I wanted to choose jerseys that the teams have not brought back as a reverse retro. So for Anaheim, I mean, they brought back the Wild Wing, they did their original. The only thing they haven't done, other than their Stanley Cup jerseys and I guess the Stadium Series, is this jersey. This was their alternate from 2001 to 2004, I think. That jersey was originally black, and I was thinking about making it purple, but I was like, there have been too many dark jerseys in these series, so why don't I do it in white? And I think it looks amazing. The numbers are a little hard to read. I wish I could have changed that, but overall, I do like the way this one turned out. Boston. So Boston, for their first one, did a gold version of the kind of Bobby Orr era, Ray Bourque, you know. And then for the second reverse retro, they did a white Pooh Bear. So I thought, I looked at their history and I was like, what else could they do? They don't have a lot of options. The only thing they haven't done is this, pretty much. This was a Reebok alternate from like 2011 to 20... I don't know, I need to get my years right. But I decided, again, to do it in white because gold is risky, and that was such a simple jersey. I felt like doing it in gold would be too much. And like I said, there's not enough white in these series, so this really, really works for Boston, and I hope they come out with this in the future. Buffalo. So Buffalo, I was thinking about doing an inverse of their second reverse retro, the goat head, or doing their alternate, the original like red alternate in black. But I mean, they already did that for the first one, and they did the goat head for their second one. So I looked at their history and I was like, okay, they have three options. They could do a reverse Turburger, which I didn't want because that jersey sucked. They could do a yellow Buff-a-Slug, which I don't think a lot of people would like, or they could do an inverse of the 40th anniversary, and that's what this is. You don't see a lot of off-white with teams for like regular jerseys. You see it in like Winter Classics and stuff like that, but not for like regular like specialty jerseys. And honestly, I think it really works. I do. It looks great, and obviously, if they wanted to do, since it was an anniversary, I don't know if they would do it, but I mean, they certainly could. Calgary. Well, they did. This is one of the exceptions I made when I said I don't want to do jerseys that teams have already done, because Calgary did a black pedestal for one of their reverse retros, which looked great. And then they did Blasty, but they did it in black. And I felt like that was a missed opportunity. So I went with Blasty, but I decided to do it in white. And kind of like the Anaheim one, the numbers are a bit hard to read. And I don't think I like it as much as the black, but it still looks like really cool. Not gonna lie. And if Calgary wanted to come out with this as like an alternate, I would not be opposed. Yeah, Carolina. Carolina was tough. I mean, what could they really do? You had the Storm flag jersey from the Reebok years, which I didn't really want to do. You had the late Reebok jersey that looked like the Team Canada ones without that didn't have the black, or you had this, which was the early Reebok era, the Edge 1.0 era in black, and this looks great. This looks amazing. I added a little silver stripe underneath because I couldn't quite get the same design that they had, and I feel like it just looks better with the silver above and below the warning pattern rather than just above. So yeah, but honestly, Carolina was tough because they did the Whalers for their first one, and then the second one they basically just did an inverse of their away jersey. So they don't have a lot of options. But if they wanted to try and do something, I think this would be a good option. Chicago. Speaking of a team that doesn't have any options, I mean, Chicago has done throwbacks to almost every jersey they have had because they've been in like a million outdoor games. So the thing that they haven't done, other than just doing a black version of their current jerseys, I didn't want to do that because I felt like that was kind of cheating. It is a reverse retro, but I felt like it was kind of cheating. I decided to do an inverse of the 2009 Winter Classic, which was originally black, and I think this looks good. Chicago took a lot of heat for their reverse retros, and if this came out, I'm sure fans would not be opposed. Colorado. So, Colorado, they're, I think, the only team in the league to have done both reverse retros to jerseys, like to different teams. They did the Nordiques for their first one, then they did the Rockies one for their second one. So I was like, okay, again, what do you want to do? If you're not going to go Nordiques, what are you going to do? You don't got a lot of options. The only thing they haven't done is the text jerseys. That's it. This one was the blueberry from the Reebok years. I forget when they wore it, but in burgundy. And this one's not too different because they actually had a jersey that was burgundy with the Colorado coming down. So yeah, this isn't too much of a stretch. I think it would be so popular if it came out. Columbus. Well, this is an easy choice. I mean, fans love the cannon. I was thinking, what could they do? They did their original jerseys in red for the first one. Then they did a black version of that alternate for the second one. And so you don't really have a lot of options. And plus, like I said, fans, they love the cannon. So I think a cream and off-white version of the cannon would look absolutely amazing. And I think it would sell. I really do. I think it would sell. I'd buy it if it came out. Dallas. Dallas really dropped the ball with their first one. I like it, but I know most people don't. They did what a lot of people wanted them to do, which was the star jersey, but it was like pretty much all white. And then for the second one, they did their originals in black, the original white ones, because they had a black version of that jersey, but they did the original white ones in black with their current colors. And that one sold. So you think, what else? Yeah, what else could Dallas do? They could do the college jersey or the Mooterus. Those are really the only things they could have done. And I didn't want them to do the college jersey because of how plain that was. So I decided to do a white Mooterus, which actually looks really cool. I do love it. So, one day. Detroit. Detroit's another team that didn't have a lot of options. Really, the only thing other than this that I could think of doing is a black version of their current jersey. But this was the Winter Classic from 2009. They actually played Chicago in that game, so both of those jerseys make an appearance in that video. But it's in red, which they actually did wear for an alumni game. But they never actually, like, the team never actually got to wear it. So if they do this, it would be amazing, because their first one, the second one was underrated. They did a red and black version of their the NHL 75th anniversary, or is it 95th anniversary? Can't remember. But the jersey, the first one, was basically their current home jersey, but it was white and gray, and it just did not look good. So if this came out, people would buy it. It's not a great jersey, but people would buy it. Edmonton. So this, again, another exception, because Edmonton really has nothing to do except for the copper, which I probably could have done, but I decided to go with a white version of the cog instead, because that logo is so popular and so nostalgic for most fans, and I know a lot of people want to see it back. And they did it in blue with their current colors, but I think a white version would look amazing in an actual Fanatics cut. That's another thing. This template doesn't really show um, the jerseys as well as I would like them to. So, yeah, if this actually existed, I think it would look absolutely beautiful. Florida. Florida, I was thinking of originally doing the jet blue jersey because they did their originals in navy with their current colors for the first one. Then they did it in the light blue for their second one. And I was like, okay, that's good. But again, what else do they have? They have the jet blue, which I would have done, but I didn't think that looked that good, and I wanted to be unique. So this was the jersey they wore from 2013 to 2017, I think. The Reebok in blue. It used to be red, and I mean that Leaping Panther logo looks amazing in blue. I always wish Florida would come out with a blue jersey again. That's not a reverse retro, like a permanent alternate that's blue. LA. Well, LA, the easiest choice would have been to take the reverse retro 1, which was the Gretzky era in the purple and the gold, and just do a white version. But I wanted to be unique, so I ended up going with the Reebok 1.0 jerseys that were originally black and do it in purple. And I think it looks great. I say this a lot. There's not enough purple in the league. So this came out. I think people would love it. I would love it. I'd buy it. So, yeah. Minnesota. So for this, they, again, don't have a lot of options, mainly because they're just so new. They did both of their reverse retros to the North Stars, and that's fine. I would have done another North Stars, maybe in gold, but I thought, why not try to do something from the Wild history? And the only jersey that really felt retro was either their original, which I could have done in red, or this, which was their 2016 Stadium Series against Chicago, which was originally green. Now it's the off-white. And like I said, no team has used the off-white on a primary jersey. But I think Minnesota can do it because there's not a lot of white in their logos. So I think if they switch to the off-white, if the league let them, it would look absolutely beautiful and it would just work. This looks great. You'll notice a trend. A lot of these are not only what they haven't done, but what do the fans I'm trying to be reasonable. What do people want? I mean, obviously with the Mooterist that might be controversial, but it's fine. People know that the Mooterist exists and they want it. So yeah, I don't think people would want a red version of their original. So I just went with the off-white version of the Stadium Series. Montreal. This was hard. Because they've had 2 jerseys in their history. Pretty much. They had obviously the home. They have the away. They have the Winter Classic, but that's not really retro 2016. The only really retro jerseys they have are the blue and white one from 1909 with the C. this, which was originally green, or the barber pole. And I thought, like, the 1909 one is just, it's too plain. It's too plain. I don't think a lot of people would like it. The reverse, or not the reverse retro, the barber pole was just a pain to look at, and I didn't really want to do a reverse barber pole. So the only thing I had left was this. I'm still not that big of a fan of it. I wanted to do it in green, but then it would look a lot like Christmas. So I decided to do it in white, and I mean, again, I'm just not a huge fan of this. The maple leaf is so out of place, but I mean, what else can you do for Montreal? I mean, I think the true hardcore Montreal fans will probably like this and buy it, but I don't. Nashville. I was thinking of doing the mustard cat, but I decided ultimately not to because I realized there's another jersey that people really want back for Nashville, and that's the checkerboard. So I decided to do that in white. Now it's not perfect, but you can imagine it. Um, and I think it's interesting because Nashville, this is another one like Detroit. This is another one that like they actually had a white checkerboard. Like this, they were going to wear. They had a white checkerboard made. They were going to wear it, but they never did. So, um, yeah, maybe one day they think about bringing that back. New Jersey. New Jersey doesn't have a lot to do. Again, they did the originals in green for their first one. Then they did a throwback to the Rockies for the second one. Um, so the only other thing they could do is basically this, a black version of that Reebok jersey. And people want this. People really want this. To think that this has not existed is just crazy because this is so popular. People want this. Fans want this. Jersey collectors want this. So I think this would be great just as an alternate, not even a reverse retro, just as an alternate. The Islanders. No, no, I didn't go with the Fisherman. I decided to go with the kind of Reebok Edge era in orange. Now I know that wasn't the best time for the Islanders, but I mean, it's better than the Fisherman, and they've already done the Fisherman, so I decided, yeah, obviously not to. But I think this would sell. I do. I think this would sell. Now, is it better than any of the ones they had? Absolutely. Is it the best reverse retro concept I've ever seen? No. Is it better than the ones they actually made? Yes, for sure. So I I think this would be a hit if it came out. Rangers. Now, I could have done another Liberty, maybe in red, but they did two Liberties, so I decided not to. This was their 85th anniversary jersey, the blue one that said New York. I actually have it. It's fake, but that one. And I decided to do it not in red. Again, red it's very common and it's a very risky color, like gold. So I decided to just do it in the off white, which again, does sound like a broken record. There's not that much off white in like regular jerseys, so Um, that would be awesome. And you think about like retro. There's nothing more retro than text down the front and off white. Like that is that's in my opinion as retro as you can get. So I think I made the right decision for the Rangers. They had some other options, like a blue version of the Winter Classic, but I decided to ultimately go with this. Ottawa. Well, Ottawa did a red version of their original, which was underwhelming because they literally announced that they were going back to those full time that same season for the first one. And then for the second one, they did a black Scooby Doo eyes, but they took the Scooby Doo eyes off the um, chest and put it on the shoulder. For this one, I decided to use the alternate they had that was black, and it had the Scooby Doo eyes. It had the arrows on the bottom. Again, that one had like a weird, like a white stripe at the bottom. I decided to just remove that because it didn't look that good. Um, so yeah, I think that if they came out with this, it probably wouldn't be loved, but I think it would sell, and it just looks amazing. Something about white jerseys, I don't know, I prefer the dark jerseys, but something about white jerseys I just love. Philly. So Philly is interesting. We talked about with the Rangers, them possibly going back to the Winter Classic. This is actually the Flyers jersey from that same game. And I decided to do this because I mean what else could they do? And now I feel like I'm starting to lean too heavily into the off white. I probably could have done this in black and it would have looked great. But you know, the off white still looks really good and it is vintage. It is classic. I think if it came out, the hardcore Philly fans would like it because of how old it is. Um, it, yeah, I don't know. It's hard because I think the stroke around the numbers might be a little bit too thick, but other than that, it looks amazing. Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh, they did the Pittsburgh diagonal for the first one. They did it in white. They did the RoboPen for the second one. They did that in black. I could have brought back the RoboPen alternate, but I decided not to. I decided to go with a little bit of a different take. I decided to go with the blue. This was the Winter Classic from 2008, the first Winter Classic. Think about Crosby's shootout goal. And I did it in white, which they actually kind of wore back in the day, but I mean, this looks absolutely phenomenal. Like, I don't know how you cannot like this. The blue just looks so cool, and it's different for Pittsburgh. They actually, I mean, it's going back to a time where they used to wear like blue. They never used to wear the black and gold. They wore blue for a while. And for the people that remember those times, remember when the Penguins wore blue, it would be great to see this. San Jose, this one, so this is basically the Reebok black alternate that they had in white. And I'm not gonna lie, something about this I don't I feel like white jerseys they need to be balanced with color, but something about this at like how simple it is just looks amazing. It really does. And I would love to see this come out. I really would. I think this would be absolutely amazing, very unique. It would match the away jersey that they, like their old away jersey. Um, and it just looks beautiful. The main thing I'm taking away from this jersey that I want isn't, not necessarily the design. That's reverse retro. You take the design, but that logo, the full body shark, I really want to see that back. I love their current logo, but that full body shark just looks amazing. Seattle. Well, Seattle literally has nothing except for the Metropolitans, but I didn't want to do the Metropolitans, so I literally just did a Navy version of their reverse retro. Like, there's nothing really to say here. It's just, they literally have no options other than the Metropolitans. St. Louis. So St. Louis is interesting. They did the Gretzky era for the first one. They did a jersey that they never actually wore, the second one, which is interesting. For this one, I don't know how they haven't brought back the art jersey. I don't know how they haven't brought that back. And in white, it looks great. I think it looks better than the dark one. I really do. So I think if St. Louis were to come out with another alternate, I think this would be a good option for them. Never really thought about going with something a bit more modern. It's still retro, but just a bit more modern. And this would be good for them. Tampa Bay. So this jersey was, I believe, their alternate from 2008 to 2014, and that was an interesting jersey. It received mixed opinions when it came out. And I decided to do it in black because fans, they want the black back. They really do. We've been asking for it for so long. The Lightning haven't listened to us, though. So that's that. But I don't know. Something about this, maybe just the text down. It's not the same font as the original, so that kind of sucks. But this would be an amazing jersey. I think this would sell. I really do. That Stadium Series jersey was a huge hit. So if the Lightning came out with this, same with that third jersey. So every time the Lightning come out with a new jersey, it seems to sell really well. So if they came out with this, I think it would sell. Toronto. So Toronto could do either a blue version of the St. Pat's or this. This was their Centennial Classic against Detroit 2017. And it looks alright. In white, I don't think it's as good. It certainly doesn't look bad. I like the little addition of the gray in there, but I don't think this would really flow well with Leafs fans. I don't think they really like this. I'd buy it, but I don't think Leafs fans would like it, which is kind of unfortunate. But what else are they gonna do? They did a blue and gray version of that 70s jersey for the first one. And then they did kind of a variation of was it the 67 white jerseys? Or was it earlier? Can't remember. In blue. So Yeah, I think it's better than both of those, but I don't know if I love it. Utah. Well, Utah literally does not have it. Like they have less of a they have less of an option. They have less options than Seattle because they literally don't have a history. So what I decided to do is I decided to take the Coyotes jersey from the late Reebok, early Adidas era and just do it in mammoth colors. Uh, Again, there's not too much to say about this because they literally do not have a history. Vancouver. So Vancouver is interesting. I could have done a red or yellow skate, which would have looked cool. Could have done a blue and green V, which fans would not have wanted, so I decided not to do that. I didn't know how a blue and green skate would look, so what I decided to do is I decided to take the alternate they had in the Reebok years, and I guess it's kind of their second variation of the stick and ring jersey, and do it in green. It's alright. I don't know if the green really works for Vancouver. I definitely like both of their actual reverse retros more. Well, actually, that's not true. I think it's better than the second one because they did kind of the Johnny Canuck jersey for the second one, but the gradient for the first one, that's definitely better than this. But it still doesn't look bad. Um, I'd still I still think that this would be a good option for Vancouver, but I don't think it's the best option. Vegas, again, like Seattle, like Utah, what are you going to do? They don't really have any options. So I decided to just go with a white version of their reverse retro, and it certainly doesn't look as good. I don't think the black would have the same sort of glow in the dark effect that the white did, but it again doesn't look bad. Doesn't look amazing, but it doesn't look bad. Washington. Washington is hard because they did both Screaming Eagles. They did the Screaming Eagle in their current colors for Reverse Retro 1. For the second Reverse Retro, they did it in black. The only jersey that they, I guess, could do that I would want them to do for a Reverse Retro that's not those is the Capitol building. And in white, this looks absolutely phenomenal. The numbers are a bit muddy, but this looks amazing. Does it not? I think if this came out, this would be I mean, it would sell because I mean, Ovi wore it, and it was very popular back then, and I would assume it would be popular now. So I think this was a good decision. Lastly, Winnipeg. So Winnipeg, they did their originals, like the originals with the original Jets in their current colors. And then the second one, they did this jersey in white with their current colors. Now it's interesting because when the first reverse retros came out, there was a list of concepts by someone who works for the NHL, and their vision for the Jets was basically this, a red version of their sort of 90s jersey, and this looks amazing. The fact that Winnipeg has not done this is baffling. So I really hope that they get a chance to do this in the future, and that is technically, I don't think gonna happen. because they have those retro ones, the navy and the white one already, and those are extremely popular. But I think this would make a good alternate if they go ahead and rebrand to those. So that's all the teams. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing these concepts. If you did, feel free to like, subscribe, stay tuned. Like I said, either later today or tomorrow, it's going to be home jerseys. So feel free to stop by, and I will see you guys in the next video.